Hello and welcome to We Gotta Talk, Damn It. Today's episode, is Joe Biden really a humanitarian? Let's find out. All right. Hello and welcome to We Gotta Talk, Damn It, a podcast where common sense and logic rule. I'm your host, Freddy Mak, a.k.a. Freddy Mak attack. I was that's what they always used to say to me when I was younger. Well, I mean, adult, but in the past. Freddy Mak attack. So anyway, hello and welcome to We Gotta Talk, Damn It. Today's podcast is going to be about Joe. Is Joe Biden really a humanitarian, or is it politics as usual? So before we get into that, I want to thank you all for listening. I want to thank you all for leaving comments. Some of you DM me, some of you email me, some of you even text me, close friends. Hey, great podcast, Fred. Hey, let's start a discussion with everybody. Go to the YouTube channel, subscribe, hit the notification button, and let's start a debate. Because I'm always about, hey, stirring the pot. And, I may say something that's wrong, that, you want to challenge me on, and that's fine. Let's go for it. I really, truly believe what's missing in today's society is a little common sense, right? Common sense seems to be not common anymore. And the ability to logically to deduce things using logic, right? It just seems to be gone. People hear something, they believe it without backing it up or without seeing if it's true, or just a little common sense, right? Like if someone said to you, somebody crossed the street, they got hit by a car and they went flying 100 feet, they landed straight on their head and they're still alive walking today. I suppose that's possible, but common sense says that's probably not accurate. But that seems to be what's going on nowadays, right? So that's the angle I like to take here. I'm going to use a little common sense. And if somebody says, hey, Fred, I understand what you were saying, and I know that you were thinking that it's common sense, but let me show you where you're wrong. I'm okay with that. I'm absolutely okay with that. But I think that's going to be hard to do. Because I've always had an enormous amount of common sense. I'm a logical person, okay? And that's just the way I roll. It's like I don't need a ton of facts in front of me to know that if you travel 200 miles per hour down a side street where kids are playing baseball or playing catch or kicking a ball around with cars parked on the street, I don't need a ton of facts to know that that's a very dangerous thing to do, right? Common sense will rule on that, right? So that's the angle that I like to take on this podcast. It doesn't mean that my common sense is always going to be common to a lot of people. They may absolutely disagree. And if you do, tell me why. Let's have a discussion about it. But I'm getting great responses, obviously, from everybody, and I appreciate it. And I hope you'll have listened to some of them. I hope you'll listen to the $4,000 one. That's one of I made a decision to not accept a job for a lot of money, and I think I had good reason, and I got a lot of great responses out of that one. Which I'm excited about. So sometimes you just got to, draw a line in the sand to hopefully, people are having an awakening of what they said, right? So check that out. But yeah, subscribe to the YouTube channel, hit the notification button. You can also subscribe to Spotify or Apple iTunes. Google We Gotta Talk, Damn It. GOTTA, We Gotta Talk, Damn It. I'm on 9 different podcasts, YouTube, Facebook, you name it. So check it out, and I hope you join in on the conversation because I like to stir the pot. Just stir it all up. So what do I want to talk about today? I want to talk about Joe Biden. Now, I absolutely, positively do not regret voting for him. We had a problem in this country, and we all know who he was. And, that's over and done with. I don't want to talk about him anymore. I don't care what he says anymore. I don't care, what comments he's made. I don't care if he plans on running again. He's over. He's done. He's dust. He's a loser. He was the worst thing that ever happened to this country, and he divided us. And 75 million people bought into his con, and it's horrible. It is horrible. But now, it's like a breath of fresh air, right? It's like, okay, we got Joe Biden, best candidate ever? No, absolutely not. I think we needed somebody a little bit more progressive in there. Even Democrats, some of them are just, oh God, they're thinking like, oh man, we need more progressiveness because times are changing. Generations change, everything changed. So we need people that can, think outside the box. And I believe that Joe Biden is doing an okay job with that. But here's my issue with Joe right now. Okay, is Joe really a humanitarian, or is it just politics as usual, right? And I'm going to give you why my reasoning for saying that. And I want to hear your comments. I want to know if you agree with me, if you disagree with me, or, Joe is just being strong-armed, to do certain things because he has no choice. But I wish that people would, do what's right all the time, not just some of the time, right? So let me give you an example. Joe, we know that he is pro-woman. I mean, he has done a lot of things for women in the past. Crimes against women. He's written bills, to help women out who are, in unhealthy relationships, battered wives, battered children. He's done a lot for women and children. He actually went to go visit George Floyd's family. He gave a talk after the verdict. He supports the BLM movement. Okay. And he should do all this, right? He should absolutely do all this as a humanitarian, as a decent person who wants good around the world, and especially in this country. He should be an advocate for women. He should be an advocate for people of color. The southern border, right? I know he got a lot of slack in the beginning because people were swarming. I think that's just the media overplaying it because they have come to this country in droves, no matter what administration is in there. And the only way that Donald Trump knew how to, draw a line in the sand with these people, draw a line in the sand with these folks, is to do something that is extremely inhumane. And that is separate children from their parents. He even admitted it during the debate. He admitted that he's working on getting these families back together again. It was a policy within the administration to do that. That's horrible. And you listen to the people at his rallies, kill him. Who cares? Tell him to go back. Do it the right way. That just chaps my ass when people say do it the right way. Listen, when the Europeans came to this country in droves, thousands of them on boats, what computer system did they have to check whether or not they were criminals? How did they verify that these people are good people that are coming to this country? They didn't. They may have had logs. Maybe they were in jail. I don't know. But certainly not as sophisticated as right now. So to say do it the right way, okay, let them in. That's the way we did it in the past. That's the way we did it. Technology advanced. And now we're like, it's not even a matter of technology advance. I think what it is the race war that we have in this country. It's worse than I ever thought. But it's not about doing it the right way. It's about these brown people coming in and white folks being threatened, right? Their color of their skin is being threatened. Ooh. See, that's where education comes in. Their color of the skin has nothing to do with superiority. It has to do with where they live, north or south of the equator, where they came from, their ancestry, all that stuff, and genetics. So it has nothing to do with I'm white and I got power. That is a construct made by white people. Okay, so Joe, yeah, he said no, I'm not going to turn them away. Okay, and he's been doing the right thing. He's been feeding them. He's been putting up in hotels. He's been taking care of them, giving them the medical attention that they need, et cetera, et cetera. And some people say, well, why don't we do that in this, with the people here who are quote unquote legal? I said, well, yeah, we should too, and we do. I mean, to a point, right? And that's a whole nother topic about what's going on in this country when it comes to taking care of our own people. So the do it right thing just doesn't fly with me. I don't know what that means, because if they did it the right way with the way things are on the books right now, they wouldn't see the United States, the land of the United States, for probably 10 to 15 years at least, okay? Because there's no right. Yeah, I mean, back in the day when they came here, that right way doesn't even compare to this right way. There was no right way back then. They go, hey, we got a country that we destroyed, and we're demolishing the land that people once lived on, and we're building our own infrastructure. Come on down. That's pretty much how it was. I mean, maybe I'm exaggerating a little bit, but please give me a break. They did not do a background check on any of these people to see if they were criminals or not. They just came. Okay? So, but we've developed quite the race war since this country has been founded, if you will. So, I mean, it's always been here, but apparently Christopher Columbus discovered it. What a joke that is! He didn't even land in North America, but in the United States. So, but anyway, I digress. My point to all this: Joe should do this. He should be a humanitarian, and now he's given a ton of vaccines out, something like 500,000 or something like that, donating these vaccinations to other countries that need it. Nice job, Joe. That's what you call a good person, a good man, a religious man, someone who understands that you need to give. That's the preachings of the Bible, the Quran, the Torah, you name it. You're supposed to help thy neighbor. You're not supposed to build a wall, shoot them, and tell them they can't come in. That's what you are supposed to do. So then, Freddie, were you disappointed, you're asking? Why are you disappointed with Joe if he's doing all these amazing things? Let me tell you why. Because when it comes to the poorest of the poor in Palestine, in the Gaza Strip, these people are the same type of people that are flooding to the southern border. They got nothing except for the clothes on their back. Very little food, very little water, all controlled by somebody else. And that's the Israeli government. I'm referring to them. And those people that are coming here, exactly the same thing. Who controls it? Their corrupt government controls it. Okay? So why am I hearing crickets, Joe, when it comes to the Palestinians? I keep hearing you say we need to figure out a two-state solution. Okay? But you say the Israeli government has a right to defend themselves. Do the Palestinians have a right to defend themselves from the tyranny that they have been dealing with for 70 some odd years, 24/7? These Palestinian people, men, women, and children, are literally, and I will not put this on my YouTube channel. I can't do it. You can do your own homework. Are literally used as target practice. And the Israeli soldiers they clap about it. They laugh about it. Okay? Their houses are being raided 24/7. Okay? So who has a right to defend themselves? I mean, listen, I'm not going to sit there and say, oh, hooray for Hamas. Yes, they've done some bad things, in the past. Sure, of course. But to categorize them as a terrorist organization and giving the Zionist government of Israel and the military a pass as not being a terrorist group is outrageous. And the reason why people don't know this is because the media in this country will not educate everybody on really what's going on there, the truth of what's going on there. Okay? And what does Joe Biden do? He says they have a right to defend themselves, and then he throws them another $158 million for defense. Okay, not to mention the $4 billion that we give to them every single year so they can sustain a good economy, so their people can get free health care and free college. And if you have Jewish blood in you and you live in this country and never step foot in there, guess what? You have all the rights in the world as a citizen of the United States. I don't know as citizens as Israel. I don't know the ins and outs of that, but you will be treated like a king or queen if you have Jewish lineage in you, if you go to that country. So, and again, that's nothing against the Jewish people. Nothing at all. I have no problem, and most people have no problem with Jewish people. Why would you? What have they done? Okay? But they're not perfect, though. Okay? If you do some homework, there are groups out there that are waving the Israeli flag, kill all the Arabs are worthless. But, you keep saying Arabs, but Palestinians that live in the Gaza Strip are, they're Jewish, they're Christian, they're Muslim, they're everything, right? So why the crickets, Joe? Why the crickets? Why is there this unconditional love for a military that is literally destroying a people? They have nothing. And even when Hamas, sends rockets off, they have something that's called the Iron Wall that blocks 99%. It's disproportionate. It's not a war. It's genocide. There's no question about it. You can't say this is a war. Where's the war? Where's the tanks? Where's the aircraft? Where's the warships that the Palestinians have? Okay? So I know I got a little grief from somebody regarding it. It sounds like you're sticking up for Hamas. It's not that I'm sticking up for them. I don't understand why the Israeli government gets a pass for not being a terrorizer of the Palestinian people, but when Hamas defends themselves, they're considered a terrorist organization. I don't understand that. If you listen to my last podcast, where somebody pointed out the 20 lies of Bill Maher, the Israeli soldiers literally looked at a Palestinian and said, "You are not allowed to walk on this street. You are not a Jew. You are not allowed to walk on the street." So that is a Zionist ideology. And if you don't think it's real, then thank God for social media, right? Again, you shouldn't get all your information from that, but let it raise an eyebrow. Let it convince you to actually go do some homework, okay? To research, okay? Again, I will not put the atrocities that I've seen in the Gaza Strip, in Palestine. I won't put it up. I can't. I just can't, because it breaks my heart. And people, oh, it's fake stuff, it's altered. No, it's not fake. It's not altered. It's real. And there are so many organizations out there that say that the Israeli government, okay, commits so many crimes against humanity. It's outrageous. But the United States just turns a blind eye. Why? I don't know. Maybe it's biblical. I don't know what it is. I just don't get it. But Joe, it's okay. It's okay to say, okay, yeah, we support the Israeli government. But crickets, when it comes to the poor people of Palestine and Gaza Strip who have nothing, starving to death, just like in the southern border, what's the difference, Joe? What's the difference? That's what I want to know. I think, so when you look back, there were only two people that actually got, if my memory serves me correctly, there were actually only two presidents that got Palestinian and Israelis to talk, and that was Bill Clinton, and that was Jimmy Carter. Now, Jimmy Carter has been extremely outspoken regarding the Israeli government. And I think that was probably his demise, too. Nobody liked his narrative when it came to the rights of the Palestinian people. And Bill Maher doesn't like the narrative either, because every time he has a guest on there and they try to bring it up, he's the host. He finds a way to get his ideology in there and his unconditional love for the Zionist terrorist government of Israel. And then he changes the topic and goes elsewhere. He won't bring somebody on that he can seriously debate this issue with. He just won't do it. He's got a hatred for Muslims. That's what it is. He's got a hatred for Muslims. But, when you look at Jimmy Carter, he actually wrote 2 books on what's going on out there. And he is a true Christian. He is a true lover of God. He's a humanitarian. He's been doing humanitarian work. I don't know if he does it anymore. Just as last year he was still working on building homes for the less fortunate. I mean, that is a true Christian right there. Okay, but they didn't like him. They made it very difficult for him. And then an evangelical came into office, Ronald Reagan, and they fell in love with him. I digress. Okay, so what is it that people are seeing when it comes to Hamas versus the Zionist government of Israel and the military that they enforce on, the Palestinian people? Hamas, again, I'm not like going to say I'm an advocate for them. I know they have done some pretty bad stuff in the past. Okay, but a lot of they are freedom fighters. They actually supply food and water. They build infrastructure back up when the Israeli government destroys it. They educate their children through schooling. So to sit there and say they're a terrorist organization, who else have they terrorized, if you will? What other country? Well, I mean, was there a terrorist attack against the United States? No. Okay, so I don't see the difference between, if you're going to call Hamas a terrorist organization, then you have to call the Zionist government of Israel a terrorist organization as well, because they are nonstop, 24/7 terrorizing the Palestinian people. Do your homework. I'm not going to sit there and give you a laundry list of things that the Israeli government has done to these poor people, but I'm telling you, it's horrific. I've seen it with my own eyes. I've talked to people that have been there, and it's just horrific. I've actually known people whose houses have been destroyed and they had to leave and they came here to the United States. So to sit there and turn a blind, listen, every single American that I talk to in this country who doesn't have the lineage that I have, who actually understands and has done homework, okay? Every single person that I've spoke to say, so what do you know about the Israeli and the Palestinians? I'll be, honestly, Fred, I don't know anything about it. Of course you don't. Of course you don't. Because this country, you can't say anything bad about the Israeli government. If you do, then you're an anti-Semite. And, and I'm going to reiterate this. In this country, when a mosque got vandalized, when a synagogue got vandalized, Muslims and Jews came together and were united. And that's the way it should be. That's the way it should be. So what the hell is going on? Why are we supporting these Zionists? They don't even believe in God, from what I understand. I mean, these are not religious, faith-based people. I mean, to me, they don't seem to have a heart. If you look at how the military actually treats these people, I mean, go online and Google it. Look how the military throws children around like they're rag dolls. In the middle of the night, 24 soldiers handcuffed, tied behind their back, a 12-year-old kid with a mask on. What did he do? What did he do? Probably, most likely, 99% chance, nothing. This is what the Israeli government does, the military, 24/7. They control the checkpoints. They control how much money they make. They control the food that goes in and out, the water that goes in and out. These people are living in extreme poverty, no different than the people that came here on the southern border, but crickets, Joe, crickets when it comes to the Israeli people. I'm sorry, when it comes to the Palestinian people. And I think it needs to stop. And I'm grateful. Bill Maher said you can't learn anything from Instagram. Well, maybe not a lot, but hopefully it raises some eyebrows and people will literally do their homework. Okay? But yeah, I agree. A lot of people, I get my information from Facebook. Well, I hope they're researching it. A lot of stuff is accurate. Of course it is. It's definitely accurate. But anyway, so that's where I'm at with that. I mean, I don't regret voting for Joe Biden, and I knew that as a left-leaning person that we have a tendency to be very critical with our own party, unlike the Republicans. they, to this day, 75, I think it is, 75 or 80% of Republicans still believe that Donald Trump, had the election stolen from them. So they stick together like flies on shit. But the Democrat Party is a little bit more critical. They have sometimes too much. Their purity test is too much. And then we're going to talk about that too, right? Being woke. I'm not woke, and I will never be woke. I don't agree with being woke. I think it just causes problems, conflicts, and I don't think it's a good thing. And we will be talking about wokeness. But that's all I got to say about this topic. We're going to talk about the Palestinian Israel. I have somebody that wants to come on to talk about this, and he's great. He's so knowledgeable, smart man, educated, and he's just your average, everyday American citizen, right? I mean, he's a Muslim. He's an American citizen. He fought in the Marines. He's a true American. He's a true patriot. But he knows, okay, he actually fought in the Middle East, and he's actually done his homework on what's going on there and why deals were not taken by Yasser Arafat. There's a very good reason, and we're going to talk about that with him. He should be coming on the show next week. So I'm super excited about that. But I want answers. I want to know why Joe refuses to be a humanitarian when it comes to the Palestinian people. I want to know why he refuses to talk with them. Okay? I mean, I think we all know why, but it's stupid, and it doesn't make any sense whatsoever. If you're a true humanitarian, you won't care about what other people think. You won't care what the Zionist terrorist organization of the Israeli government thinks. You just won't care. If you're a humanitarian, be a humanitarian. All across the board, okay, no matter what. So, all right, folks, that's all I got on this topic. Get ready for some next topics. And like I said, one more on this the Palestinian-Israeli situation. And, because I had a gentleman that really wanted to come on and talk about it. And I can't wait to have him on. And then we're going to shift to some more lighter stuff. We're going to talk about dating and Teslas and ride sharing, everyday stuff. Someone said, hey, Fred, how do you start a landscaping business? Because I have a landscape. I'll talk to you how to start a landscaping business if you want to. It's actually much easier than you think. But get ready to bust your butt, okay? But you can start it. It's easy. You can make decent money. And I'll teach you how to do it efficiently. 25 years of experience on how to run a landscaping business, a groundskeeping business, starting off with very little money. And making good money within 2 to 3 years, for sure. So anyway, I digress. Well, it's not really digressing. I'm just telling you what I'm going to talk about on my next episodes. All right, folks, let me know what you think about what I said. Your opinion is very important to me. Like I said, you can listen to my podcast. I got 9 different platforms out there that I'm on. Most popular ones are Spotify and Apple iTunes, on YouTube channel. So please go to YouTube, leave your comment on there, and let's start a discussion. And that'll be a lot of fun. So you can email me at freddy@wegottotalkdammit.com or wegottotalkdammit@gmail.com. Go to the website, subscribe. We'll send you emails with upcoming episodes. You can go to www.wegottotalkdammit.com, and that's GOTTA. We Gotta Talk Dammit. So, all right, folks, thanks again for listening. Look forward to hearing from you, and we will see you next time. And peace out. And remember, we gotta talk, damn it. Peace out.